What will happen with BTS now? The group is not allowed to win a Grammy, as the Grammys declared BTS ineligible. It's been revealed that Suga began visiting the hospital regularly. A personal video of RM sparks a lot of concern. And in a moment of honesty, Suga shared the books that helped him survive grief and navigate life's darkest moments. They might help you too. Stay with us until the end, because this story goes deeper than anyone expected. What will happen with BTS now? Because they just made history again in the United States, adding even more platinum awards to their name than any other K-pop group ever has. Their success continues to grow, and the numbers prove it. On June 24th, the Recording Industry Association of America, the group that officially keeps track of music sales and streams in the US, released an updated list of songs and albums that earned gold or platinum status. These awards are based on how many times a song or album has been bought or streamed. A gold award means it reached 500,000 units, platinum means 1 million, multi-platinum is 2 million or more, and diamond is a massive 10 million units. This time, BTS earned platinum certification for 4 more songs: Run, Blood, Sweat and Tears, DNA, and Fake Love. That means each of these tracks has now been bought or streamed over 1 million times in the US alone. With these new additions, BTS now has 13 songs and albums that are officially certified platinum in the US, the highest number ever for a K-pop artist. In spite of all this, it turns out BTS is not allowed to win a Grammy. While fans waited for nominations, the Grammys declared BTS ineligible. The group has become one of the biggest music acts in the world. But even with all their success, they still haven't won a major Grammy award. For years, people have wondered why the Recording Academy, who gives out the Grammys, continues to overlook them. BTS has been invited to the Grammy Awards several times. But instead of being treated like the global stars they are, they've often been used to boost TV ratings rather than being celebrated for their talent. Back in 2020, for example, they were asked to perform at the show. But instead of singing one of their own hits, they only appeared as background performers during Lil Nas X's Old Town Road performance. Many people thought this was disrespectful, especially since BTS had already proven they could fill stadiums on their own. Even though they were one of the most talked about artists that year, BTS didn't get any Grammy nominations in 2020. The following year in 2021, they weren't expected to win big either. Some magazines even predicted that Super M, another K-pop group with much less success, might be nominated instead. This confused fans and made them question how the Academy was choosing which artists to recognize. There's also something that many have pointed out as unfair. The Grammys say BTS is too well known to be considered a Best New Artist. But at the same time, they don't treat BTS like experienced artists when it comes to major awards like Record of the Year. Older reports have said this kind of treatment doesn't make sense, since BTS meets the same standards that other top artists do. Some think there may be a deeper problem behind all of this. Reports from past years have suggested that the reason BTS keeps getting passed over could be due to a lack of fair treatment toward Asian men in the entertainment industry. The Grammys, and the music business in general, have often been criticized for not being inclusive enough. So even when non-Western artists do extremely well, they might still be left out of the biggest categories. A few years ago, Forbes wrote that BTS could have been eligible for some of the most important Grammy categories like Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and maybe even awards for songwriting. There are also worries about how BTS might one day win a Grammy. Some people fear that instead of letting them compete with American artists in the general categories, the Grammys might create a separate K-pop category just for Korean music. At first glance, this could look like a good thing, but critics say it would actually limit BTS and other K-pop groups by keeping them out of the main competition. This already happened at the MTV Video Music Awards, where K-pop acts were placed in their own category, while Spanish-language songs like Despacito were allowed to compete with English-language music. People sometimes make fun of BTS fans for being too passionate, but many say those critics don't understand the deeper meaning behind their support. For them, it's not just about enjoying music, it's also about being recognized and represented in a world that often leaves them out. A radio host named JJ from iHeartRadio once shared his thoughts on social media. He said he was disappointed that BTS didn't get a Grammy nomination, but reminded everyone that a trophy isn't the most important thing. What truly matters is the music itself and the love from fans around the world. He He said people should stay hopeful and wait for the day BTS finally gets a nomination for Record of the Year. However, BTS has now broken with the Grammys as well, because of how they were treated. In 2022, the group was getting ready for what many expected to be another major moment in their career, performing at the Grammy Awards. But instead of a smooth experience, things started to fall apart behind the scenes. One by one, the members ran into serious problems. Jin hurt his finger badly enough that he needed surgery. Jimin, who had just gotten over COVID-19, was then diagnosed with appendicitis. And just days before the event, J-Hope and Jungkook both tested positive for COVID too. These issues caused big problems with their rehearsals. J-Hope, who normally leads the choreography and helps the others stay in sync, couldn't take part. The group had only one full rehearsal together before the actual show. Still, when they showed up on the red carpet, they smiled, dressed sharp, and looked confident. RM spoke to the press, keeping things positive and talking about their plans. Then, despite everything working against them, they went on stage and gave a sharp, dramatic performance of Butter. One move involved tossing a jacket from one member to another with perfect timing, something that could have easily gone wrong. But it didn't. The performance went smoothly, and the crowd gave them a standing ovation. Even with all the cheers, the night ended with disappointment. BTS did not win a Grammy. After the show, the group spoke with fans during a live stream. RM said they were upset about the result and that it was okay if fans were feeling disappointed too. Jimin added that he had hoped the group could win as a way to say thank you to their fans. What made it even more frustrating was that the show had pulled in 9.6 million viewers, a small increase from the previous year. And many people believed BTS's performance was one of the main reasons for that. Still, BTS didn't stay stuck in that moment. A few days later, they performed 4 sold-out concerts in the United States. On stage, RM explained that they weren't there chasing awards. They were there for their fans. But behind the scenes, things weren't as bright. During a dinner event filmed for Festa in June 2022, RM opened up about how he'd been feeling. He said it seemed like the group was losing direction, and he wasn't sure if their music still had meaning. He wondered if they were just doing what people expected, instead of doing what they truly wanted. That conversation seemed to be a turning point. Soon after, BTS announced they would be taking a break from group activities to focus on solo projects. Jin and J-Hope started their mandatory military service in South Korea, which meant a full group comeback wouldn't happen for a while. The rest of the members got busy with their own work. But during all of this, something felt different. The Grammys weren't being mentioned anymore. Neither RM nor Jungkook showed up to the 2023 Grammy ceremony, even though BTS had been nominated. RM posted about it once on Instagram and never brought it up again. Suga, who had once said he dreamed of winning a Grammy, didn't say a word. Even though the members were finding success on their own, none of their solo work received Grammy nominations. This didn't go unnoticed. On websites like Reddit, fans began to ask if the Recording Academy was intentionally ignoring them. Some fans wondered whether the Grammys were just not ready to seriously consider international artists, even ones as successful as BTS. Over time, the excitement that once surrounded the Grammys faded. Both fans and members seemed to care less and less. What used to be a major goal now seemed like something that didn't matter as much anymore. Now the members have completed their military service and have finally returned, marking a new chapter for BTS. Whether they will return to the Grammy stage remains uncertain, but if they don't, it no longer feels like a loss, it feels like a decision. Instead of chasing an award that has repeatedly overlooked them, BTS now seems focused on what matters most: their fans, their creative freedom, and the music they genuinely want to create. A video of RM allegedly smoking sparks a lot of concern, but it's not what you think. After finishing their military service, the members of BTS have been staying out of the spotlight. They've shared small updates here and there on social media, giving fans clues about where they might be. RM, for example, seems to be in Europe right now, based on the photos and stories he's posted. Recently, a video appeared online that many people believe shows RM. In the clip, someone who looks like him is standing outside and smoking. At one point, the person even seems to look straight at the camera. This made a lot of fans think the video was taken without permission. The video spread quickly across the internet and got a lot of attention. Some fans defended RM, saying that smoking is a personal choice and no one else's business. Others pointed out that this wasn't surprising since people had already suspected he smoked. They brought up an old Instagram post that accidentally showed a cigarette, which RM had posted and then deleted soon after. But as more people saw the video, the main conversation started to change. The real issue for many fans wasn't the smoking. It was the fact that someone had filmed him during his private time. Since the BTS members are on vacation right now, a lot of fans felt it was wrong for anyone to follow them or record them when they're just trying to relax. This led to growing concern online. People started asking how the video was even recorded. Was RM being watched or followed by someone? Fans have worried about this kind of thing before, but this video brought those concerns back to the surface. In a past live stream on Weverse, RM seemed to speak about the attention he gets for things like smoking. He said it's his life and that he's just a singer, not someone who wants to be under a microscope all the time. Even though he didn't talk about the video directly, many fans took it as a sign that he wants space to live like a regular person. Now the conversation has become less about whether RM should smoke and more about whether stars like him can ever truly have time off. Some fans think people are crossing the line by chasing after every private detail of the members' lives. They say it's time to talk seriously about respecting idols' privacy. It's been revealed that Suga began visiting the hospital regularly. In Seoul, a special treatment center is now under construction, and it has one clear goal: to help kids and teenagers who have autism or other developmental conditions. But what makes this project stand out is that it's not just funded by a famous person, it's been personally shaped by one. BTS's Suga isn't just giving money, he's been directly involved in every step. On June 25th, a video titled "Comfort Through Music: The Story of the Min Yoongi Treatment Center" was posted on the official YouTube channel of Severance Hospital. In the video, the hospital explained how closely Suga has worked with them to help turn this project into reality. The new center will provide different kinds of therapy for children and teens with autism spectrum disorder, ASD, and other similar conditions. It's being built to offer both medical and mental health support in one place. The services will include speech and language therapy, psychological help, behavioral programs, and research to better understand these conditions. One of the main goals is to help young people become more independent as they grow up. Dr. Chon, a child psychiatrist who is leading the project at Severance Hospital, explained that she had wanted to create a center like this for a long time. She said she had always hoped that the hospital would have a program to help children with autism as they grew into adults. For years, she wanted to build a place that could support their needs beyond early childhood. Dr. Chon also talked about how Suga became part of the project. She said he first visited her in November 2023 and told her he wanted to help, not just by giving money, but by actually being involved. She remembered being surprised during their first meeting because he had already read a large portion of the 500-page textbook she had written about autism. She said he asked very thoughtful and smart questions, which showed that he truly cared and had done his homework. Suga didn't stop there. He asked how he could use music to help the children. After that, he began visiting the hospital regularly. He practiced guitar and prepared to play music for the kids himself. Dr. Chon said he always arrived on time, sometimes even earlier than she did, and worked hard to connect with the children. She said it was clear that he truly enjoyed being there and that his smile during those music sessions was unforgettable. On June 24th, Suga's label, Big Hit Music, officially announced the partnership between him and Severance Hospital. That same day, the hospital held a groundbreaking ceremony to begin building the new center. It will be a place where kids and teens with autism and related conditions can get help from doctors, therapists, and researchers all working together. According to hospital officials, the donation for this project is the largest they've ever received from an artist, not just in the history of Severance Children's Hospital, but across the entire Yonsei Medical Center system. What makes this center different from many others is how involved Suga has been. This isn't just a case of a celebrity giving money and putting their name on the building. He read detailed medical materials, played music for the kids, and worked closely with the hospital's experts to make sure the center would offer real and lasting help. The Min Yoongi Treatment Center is expected to become one of South Korea's most important places for autism care. It's being designed as more than just a clinic. It's a space where science, kindness, and creativity all come together. By using music as a way to connect and focusing on teamwork between doctors and families, the center hopes to change how people with developmental conditions are supported in healthcare. For many people, this project might show a different side of Suga. But for those who have followed him closely, it may simply confirm what they already knew. He's someone who listens, who puts in the effort, and who shows up when it really matters. And what many people might not know is that Suga is also a serious reader. He doesn't show off about it, but over the years, fans have seen him reading during long flights, quiet trips, and even while relaxing after performances. For Suga, books aren't just something to pass the time. They're part of how he learns, thinks, and stays grounded. Unlike some celebrities who post book photos to look smart or trendy, Suga has consistently recommended books that have deep meaning. Whether it's during a live stream or on the fan platform Weverse, he's shared stories that helped shape how he sees the world. And the books he picks aren't light reads. They deal with tough subjects like emotions, identity, grief, and purpose. One of the first books fans noticed was Almond by Sohn Wonpyung. In the first season of BTS in the Soup, Suga and RM were seen reading it together. The book is about a boy named Yoonjae who has a brain condition called alexithymia. It makes it hard for him to feel things like fear or anger. After something terrible happens in his life, he starts to pull away from everyone. But then he meets someone very different, Gon, a boy who starts off as his enemy but eventually becomes his friend. The story focuses on how people deal with emotions, trauma, and unexpected friendship. Since Suga often writes about personal pain and healing in his music, it makes sense why this book would mean something to him. In Season 2 of In the Soup, Suga was seen with another book called The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. This book is written like a conversation between a young person and a wise philosopher. It talks about how people can live happier lives by letting go of what others think. The authors say that your past doesn't have to control your future, and that true freedom comes from being brave enough to live for yourself. These are ideas that match a lot of what Suga has said in interviews and in his lyrics, especially about being true to yourself, even when others might not understand. Another book Suga has often recommended is The Alchemist, by Paulo Coelho. He mentioned it on BTS's fan cafe and even included it in the group's official ARMY fan kit. The story is about Santiago, a shepherd from Spain, who dreams about finding a treasure in Egypt. Along the way, he meets a fortune teller, a king, and an alchemist who help guide him. But the real treasure turns out to be the lessons he learns while chasing his dream. Suga connected deeply with this story, and when Paulo Coelho found out, he sent signed copies of the book to BTS to say thank you. That personal connection made fans love the book even more. Another book Suga was seen with was Life Lessons by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and David Kessler. He was carrying it at the airport back in 2017. The authors are well known for their work on grief and what people go through at the end of life. The book shares real stories about love, fear, hope, and relationships. It isn't written like a self-help guide. It's more like a conversation about what really matters in life. These deep, emotional topics show up in Suga's music all the time, especially in his solo work under the name August D. The books Suga reads might seem different on the surface, but they have something important in common. They all deal with being human. Whether it's learning how to feel emotions, understanding loss, chasing your dream, or letting go of fear, each book talks about what it means to grow. These are the same ideas that show up in the lyrics Suga writes, the way he speaks in interviews, and the way he relates to fans. He hasn't recommended these books to look cool or seem smarter. Most of the time, he mentions them casually, like something he genuinely wants to share. For fans, his book choices have become something to look forward to. They feel like clues to what's on his mind, or tools that might help them through their own struggles. While most headlines about BTS focus on their record-breaking music, stadium tours, or their billion-dollar impact on South Korea's economy, Suga's quiet reading life tells a different story. Through books, he's opened a window into his thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. And in doing so, he's helped fans not just enjoy music, but also think more deeply about life, emotions, and who they want to become.